Don't try to sneak into your room like that. I know what you've got behind your back. Records. More new records.
Well, I'm sure you saw that Sonny Rollins died the other day, great tenor saxophonist, and there've been a lot of obituaries about him. So I figured that today's installment of Tracking Angle's track de jour should be something to do with Sonny Rollins. So what would be interesting? So I was thinking maybe I would play you a track from an original Stereo Records pressing of Sonny Rollins' Way Out West. And I bought this at a store in Englewood, New Jersey, and decades ago, and it was $75. I'm sure this goes for a lot more now. So maybe I'd play something from that, but you know, you're an old cowhand, I'm an old cowhand, I don't know if I want to play that. Then I figured maybe something from an original Prestige pressing of Saxophone Colossus. Maybe I'd play Blue 7, which is an amazing track. Everything on here is wonderful. And then I figured, no, maybe what I would do is go for something really outrageous, which would be something from this record, Sonny Rollins' Our Man in Jazz recorded live. And this was recorded live at the Village Gate in New York. And it's got Don Cherry on cornet, Billy Higgins on drums, Sonny Rollins on tenor sax, Bob Crenshaw on bass. And it's an amazing recording. It looks like what this picture looks like when he plays. It looks like he's right there, looking right at you. It's amazing. And this is a record that was made after Sonny Rollins. He had stopped playing for a couple of years. He wasn't satisfied with his playing, and he started practicing on the Williamsburg Bridge late at night. And another one of the records on this, and then he signed with RCA, and another one of the records on this label was The Bridge. But I think this one is really out there, you know. And I think I'm going to play Doxy, which is one of his most famous compositions. It's 15 minutes long, but I'm going to play that for you. And I hope that you enjoy it. And if you want a story about something to do with this, I'll tell you a story about it. But also, then I figured I'll play you something from here, from the Rolling Stones, because Sonny Rollins plays saxophone on 3 tracks on this record. And so I'm going to play one of those. I'm not sure which one yet, but I'll play one of those. But I'll only play that. I'm only going to play that after I play Doxy from this record. And you want a story? Okay, this is kind of a bizarre story. So, a friend of mine, sadly, when I lived in California, a friend of mine sadly, should I really tell this story? So a friend of mine committed suicide. It's a whole long, terrible, terrible story. And he left a package on my front steps that I discovered the next morning after he committed suicide. And in it was, there was a suicide note and a letter telling me, it had all the phone numbers of his friends, some of who I didn't know. And I should call them and tell them all to meet at his house because everything in the house was labeled for who got what, which was, I mean, it was one of the worst experiences of my whole time in California. But I did all that. That's another story for another time. But in this box was a bag of cocaine, like it was like a couple of ounces of cocaine. And what do I do with it? You know? So a couple of days later, and I was never a big coke freak. I really wasn't. I never got too far into it. I dabbled. And you know, in mid-70s in LA, if you went to a recording studio and ran your hand along the top of the desk, were like where the little Ortone cubes were, the little reference speakers, you'd go like that, you'd get off. Because it was every place. It was all over the place. So it wasn't anything unusual. But I got this ounce of cocaine. I'm thinking, what am I going to do with this ounce of cocaine? So a couple of days later, knock on the door. And I open the door, and it's Dennis Wilson from the Beach Boys. Hey, man. Hey, Michael. How you doing, man? Can I come in? Yeah, sure. Come on in, Dennis. I wonder why you're here. And, of course, you know, he sat down. I had this little Casio tone recorder with like 12 keys on it and a couple of chord things, and he picks it, and I sit there with that thing and play with it and go, He picks it up, and real music came out of it. I mean, it was like, what the? Real music came out of it for like 3 or 4 minutes, and then he goes, hey man, lay out some lines. So, so there he was with Dennis Wilson from the Beach Boys. A couple of days later, knocking on, hey man, it's Don Cherry. Holy shit, Don Cherry. I knew Don Cherry, the trumpet player. Hey man, come on. Don Cherry came in, same thing. He didn't play on the Casio tone, but, and we played some music. I played him some records. We had a good time. And then, and that's when I said to myself, you know what, this drug is so pernicious. It's so bad that people are willing to humiliate themselves to show up at the door of a total stranger and kind of pseudo-ingratiate themselves to you so you could lay out some lines for them. It was great. Anyway, so, Don Cherry, great player, he's on this. So that's my story, okay? So what I'm going to play you is, I'm not going to play you Way Out West. I'm not going to play you Saxophone Colossus. I'm going to play you Doxy from this live at the Village Vanguard, at the Village Gate recording. And it's amazing. It's a living stereo. It was engineered by, does it say the engineer? I forgot who engineered it. Paul Goodman. Paul Goodman, very famous RCA engineer who did a lot of live recordings and did a lot of classical recordings too. This is an amazing sounding recording. I think you're going to really dig it. And hopefully you'll get into, if you're a Sonny fan, you'll definitely love it. And if you're not a Sonny fan, maybe you'll become a Sonny fan. And then I will play a track or two, and maybe all three, of where Sonny meets Mick Jagger. And they didn't do any lines. They just played some music. Okay, that's it.